Who is ready to talk some Big Brother? Okay, so this is like spoilers. Again, we're going to talk about tonight's episode. If you haven't watched it already, we're going to talk about tonight's episode. We're going to review it, and we're going to have Zach with us today. So we're going to see when he joins. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, yes, I did get a haircut. If you guys have any questions, put them in, and because we're going to talk about tonight's episode, and it's going to go freaking fantastic. We're going to have Zach with us, and we're going to also talk about tonight's episode and just talk about the game. So it's going to be all fun. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here. I want to see that beautiful face. Where is he? I can't see him. Did I lose him? Did I lose him? Okay, hold on. Let's see if it's working. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Is it not working? I'm literally doing it. Oh my lord, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Hold on, let me send you the invite. Okay, I sent you one. So how can you accept it? I did it. I sent it. I sent it. Please tell me it's working. If not, we got to redo it. I'm doing it. I'm trying to figure it out, Zach. You're on me right now. Hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. Oh my lord. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to redo this. No way. It's crashing out on me. Hold on. If I lose connection, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me figure this out. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure this out right now. Don't worry. Mother flipper, dude. Hold
Hello,
on.
hello.
Okay.
Can
What
you
is
see me,
up?
Adrian?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know what the flip. I switch. Okay, so okay, I figured it out. It doesn't matter. We figured out what is up, bro. Did you see the episode?
I did. It was iconic. Rachel with her speech was incredible. She really was
Yeah,
insane.
she did
Um,
what she needed to do for her
yeah,
game.
she 100%
Absolutely.
did. Now we already saw the live feed, so we kind of knew it was happening. But what did you think leading up to it with Kelly talking to Mickey and all that types of stuff?
Okay, so first off, I watched the lives. We're here to talk about this episode. So also a little spoilers ahead, okay? Because we watched the lives, we kind of know what's
Did
all going on. So if there's
yeah,
any casual watchers, there's a little bit spoilers ahead. But if you don't mind, you could stay. All right, I'm just giving
don't
you a
mind.
spoiler warning. I just gotta let them know because I don't want to spoil anything ahead. But okay, what were you talking about? I mean, okay, so you have people who you're rooting for. I have my people who I'm rooting for, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
we could talk about anything we want. We could think about how the people we want to root for, how best they should go about their game, how they're playing this game,
Right.
and how does tonight's episode impact that. We can start with that
Okay.
if you're good with that.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
down. I'm down. So why don't we do this? Why don't we list like our top three like favorite people, I guess, like who we're rooting for, I guess, at
Yeah,
this point.
who we are rooting for to win, and then we
To
can talk about
win.
who we think could win. Yeah, who we want to win, who we're
Who we
rooting
want
for.
to
I
win.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you want me to
I can go.
start?
I can go. I can go first. You're new here, so
I
I'll
am
start
new.
off
This is
first.
my first live
Yeah,
stream ever.
I
So I'm
know, I
very
know. Welcome, bro. Welcome, welcome. Okay,
yeah.
so I'll do mine. My top three is gonna be Kelly, then
Okay.
Keanu. This one's hard. The third one's hard, but I'm gonna go with Catherine.
Catherine is your
But
three. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Look, so Kelly, but this is more of a personal thing because in the game, by the end of week three, she's probably the only person that was like 100% loyal because she knew
Fair.
that I had her back.
Yeah.
Or that like I would have looked like I was trying to figure out the best way we could stay in the game together.
Right.
That was me on the block. I just had to swing the votes. We know how that happened. Then we got Keanu because who does love an underdog, right?
I know.
Kelly
I
and
as
Keanu
as
are
a fan
underdogs.
now, I'm rooting for him. I'm like he
Yeah,
is a comp beast. I gave him his
yeah,
flowers. And I understand why he's America's favorite right now, 100%. Because it's like
yeah,
he's the underdog right now. He keeps pulling
yeah,
himself off. You know?
yeah. I say, and then for Catherine. This is
Mhm.
my reason because I know, we don't see her a lot on the show for the casual watchers, right? But
Yeah.
when I was in the house, I really respected that she was going to vote the way she wanted
Yeah.
and didn't care how that. And then she was, like I said, I was, part of the plan was you get close to Lauren, I get close to Catherine, and we try to so we weren't trying to make alliance, but we're trying to figure out, each other's trying to understand the house. And we come back. Well, that was the plan. But so
It
I was
was.
getting close to Catherine. And I'm trying to game wise, and I really respected because she voted my way, and I
She
like
did.
that she stood up.
Mhm.
She stood to hey, I'm going to vote this way because this is best for my game. Because I told her I
Yeah.
would protect her and Riley and her allies, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
I'm I really respect that she did that, and so it's more
Mhm.
of a me thing, not as a viewer. That's why I'm rooting Catherine, no Kelly, Catherine, and Keanu. Not in that
Catherine,
order, but
Kelly, Keanu. Okay, fair enough.
okay,
Fair
yeah.
enough.
In the order, it's Kelly, Keanu, and Catherine.
Okay,
The
I
third one's
like
kind of
that.
hard, but yeah, it's a side. Okay, so now it's your turn. Let's see.
Okay, my three that I want to win. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, who do we want to win?
This is in no order. Okay. Will, Lauren, and then I would say the third would probably be Vince because he was like so
Ooh.
close to me in the game.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, Adrian. Like we went against you, like me and him decided to go against you. I apologize for that.
Yeah.
But those are my three. I really respect Lauren, obviously. I think she's a great person. Will, I feel like if he gets to the final two, he could have an incredible speech, right? And so I think that that is something that could really pull the house. He just needs to win like an HOH or make some type of move to really justify, him being sitting there too, in my opinion. And then
Absolutely.
Vince, like he has a lot. I realized outside of the house how many like final twos, how many different groups he's working with, and it kind of threw me
Yeah.
off just a little bit realizing that. But I know that he's like a brother to me in there, and like I am pulling for him. I am definitely
Yeah.
pulling for him in that regard. So
Yeah.
so those are my top three. I love everybody though. I will make that very clear. I love
Yeah.
everybody. However, those are my three that I do want to win Big Brother.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, I know we can't. I mean, I love everybody in there and outside, but it's we have to. We still have to decide who we want to win. And
Right.
so yeah. So I understand what you're saying. Okay, and then we watched tonight's episode. So
We
again,
did.
spoilers to anybody. You should see on the title, I think. Uh, now, how does this impact? So your first one was Will, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't in order. I will
Okay,
say,
it
like
wasn't in
that
order.
was
So
in that was.
how about you put it in order real quick? You just top three, or is it
Oh,
too hard for you?
it's tough, man. It's tough. I think all three like have a place in my heart. I mean, obviously, like I really care about Lauren. Will, like he was like a father to me, and Vince was literally like a brother to me. So
Yeah,
it's like all three equally have their place with me. Even though I found out after the fact that Will was one of the reasons why I was put up. However, he still was a father figure to me, and I don't even know if like the lives showed how much we talked about like sports and just like random athletes. And in my everyday life, that is something that I need. Like me and my friends, we talk about random athletes, all these different sports situations, and he was that person to me. And then
yeah,
with the other two, obviously, like Lauren, she has a place in my heart. Lauren, I am going to come visit you whenever you're off the show. Hopefully, that is, after September, after the fact. I do want to come see you. And then Vince, like, he literally, like, we played baseball together in terms of, like, he plays baseball, I play baseball.
over that.
And he was, like, he truly, Adrian, you were one of the first people I connected with, but he was also right there day one. I remember having,
Trust me,
like, my first conversation with him. Yeah.
I picked it up. Didn't know. No, it was you, Vince, and Zay, and I was there, and you guys were talking sports, and I'm like, what? I have no idea. I mean, I know sports, but I don't keep up with the thing. And you guys were naming baseball players. Oh yeah, he's a hitter. I know. I was like, bro. I'm trying to fit in. And I'm like, I don't know nothing besides, hey, you gotta pivot your feet when you hit the bat. That's it. I'm cooked. I'm trying here, but I'm just standing here awkwardly. I was like, so I think I walked away. Eventually, I was like, okay, they're gonna talk
Yeah.
to baseball. I literally can't do anything besides be there.
Yeah,
And I was
no,
like, it
but
was
here's the
week
deal.
one.
It was
Literally,
group
I will.
one, so it's like I got other connections to make as at the same time. So
For sure, for sure. I will say this though, you and Zay were my chess guys. Like after you left, it was like I tried to play with Keanu some, but like we could not. You were like even with me when it came to chess, except for when I started to castle, and then you would like attack me on the chessboard as
yeah,
well.
but after I think I beat you like 3 times because you castled,
I
but then you
know.
switched up. And then you actually like I couldn't get you as easily because you
Yeah,
switched up your tactic because I never switched it up. I always move my queen out whenever I
you
can.
did.
Because, I don't like playing with pawns. I like to get the queen out. Get down to business. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I know. I heard on the live streams they're like it was like a kind of a big group. It was outside. They're like, yeah, we haven't played. All the good chess players are out. Like no one plays chess anymore.
I
And I'm
know.
like, I'm looking at the board. I'm like, oh man, I missed the chess. That's one of the things I missed. I was like, I love playing chess because I was like, what else are you supposed to do in the yeah, I can't. Yeah, what else are you supposed to do other than that and pool? So I
I
was
know
like,
it was literally chess and pool, and then all I had was Keanu after the fact to play chess, and I'm like, well, this sucks. So yeah, no, man, you were my go-to when it came to chess for sure. But
yeah.
how are you? Like, how are you feeling outside of the house and everything? I mean, obviously we've talked like off camera, but like, how are you feeling? Kind of coming back to the real world.
Well, I think it's fine. I will say this: when I first came back, it felt foreign in my own house.
Mm.
Right? I'm like, I'm not used to this bathroom that I'm like so used to. I'm not used to like sleeping in my own bed. Like I'm used to looking up and seeing like the attic where I'm like the room we were in the Big
Oh
Brother.
yeah.
I'm like, and
Hmm.
I'm like, everything felt foreign. Like even though I'm so familiar with like my home, it just felt like I was like it felt like the Big Brother house was my home. Like I got so used to waking up there, brushing
Yeah.
my teeth, eating, and it just felt a little bit foreign. But after maybe 4 or 3 days, it went away.
Yeah.
But it was definitely, and then like also like to deal with the loss that because I had so much that I wanted to do that I didn't get to do. So it's like you had to go through that wave of like you got used to one environment, you coming back to your old one and
Yeah.
then also dealing with that loss. But other than that, it's been nothing but great. I got so much love when I came out. I hope you did too. I think you got a lot of love. I don't know.
Yeah.
You would know more than me. I didn't. I watched some of your interviews, but not all of them. So
Yeah, I mean, like when it came to it, I want to like keep in mind, you know, with what I said, like we didn't have our phones, we didn't know like the public perception. So when we're talking in those interviews, it was legitimately, it was raw. It was raw responses to everything. I've got a few interviews tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Now that I know the public perception, it's going to be interesting what they ask. I do know that of course they're going to ask about why I didn't use the power. They're going to ask about the whole love triangle situation. There's a few things that they will definitely ask me about. What did they ask you about? I know that they're probably asking you about me in terms of like that I did not vote for you to stay in the house. Like what did they really ask you?
uh um well, since this is like public knowledge, what they asked me, because it's
Okay.
all the interviews are out there. For you, for me, I think they mostly asked me like the thing is like why the honesty game? Like why do you play so honest? And then also like who did you feel most betrayed by? Um, let me see. I mean, it was a while. I mean, it was a while ago, but I think it was basically that. It was like the same questions, kind of, but like a little bit different.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it was mostly that, like the whole honesty game. Did I expect like the social game to be as hard as I thought? But
Hmm.
like I said before, like when I came in that house, I was like, you, Zay, Riley, Keanu, you guys are just so high energy too. You guys were like so funny, like the life of the party. I was like, dang, I think I could do all right in a social setting. But then when you pair up with like other 4 guys that are also freaking hilarious, charming, funny in their own way. I'm like, bro, you make me look like an introvert. I'm like, fudge. And then, like the first 3 days, you know, we're all talking, we're all smiling, high
Yeah.
energy, no blood spilt yet. And, you kept talking. And after that, I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little tired, but because you're doing it 24/7, you never stop talking. Like the first few days, live feeds don't kick on. That this is public knowledge, right? Live feeds don't kick on until a few days after.
Right.
All right. So this is public knowledge. I'm not sharing anything. new. But what you don't see is like, yeah, we're talking nonstop, high energy, all freaking honeymoon phase, right? So it's like, and then like you said, man, you guys were just like so charming, so funny. It's like I was taken away by that for sure. That how great you guys would be, and then how that made me look. But I think a big mistake for me was how I came off too big of a threat
Mm,
early on, and then you add that on top of me not wanting to, run into make so many alliances because I
yeah,
think our season is probably one of the most. I mean, they people have been comparing how many alliances are created in like the season, like week 1, week 2, and
yeah,
ours is like crazy. There's not one side versus that. It's a bunch of small ones. So it's like it's pretty crazy. Like our cast is, at least I feel, is probably one of the most, I'd say, is like one of the most unloyal casts I've seen because there's no loyalty in that cast. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I get like everyone, like tell me someone that's loyal to one person, like 100%. Like Vince, like okay, Zach's gone. Okay, I'm gonna go to Morgan. Maybe I'll go to Lauren. It just depends with the power shifts, right? So I
yeah,
was like, so I knew Vince had alliances. I knew Kelly had a final 2 with Vince. You didn't have to tell me. I knew you had other alliances, right? But I was like, I didn't care because once I win power, and I take the shot at the people that didn't have my back or weren't going to
yeah,
vote my way, I
yeah,
was like, you're not going to flee on the side that I put up. I mean, you're going to want to flee with where the power was. And the
right.
fact that we didn't have the worst relationship, So that was my mindset. I just had to survive like Kelly and Keanu did, but
Mm.
I didn't. But,
No, I mean with you when you went up as a pawn, the problem was is that people were saying, well, he's coming second in like every single challenge that he's done so far. And
I know.
so people use that as an excuse to get you out. That's really like what people told me during that week. And I know like it's tough because that whole deal like, deciding between you or Ashley, it was tough. That was a tough HOH with Lauren. I mean, it was a really tough situation because I know that another side was trying to really vouch for you to be on the block and everything like that. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But
Yeah. Like we can't go back. But yeah, it is interesting to see what could have been though. But yeah, like
absolutely,
you said, like it felt like I felt like personally, I know you and Vince were. I know Vince wanted Ashley up, and I knew you wanted saying like I want Adrian to stay.
hmm
But like I said, like I don't like. But then like they were coming in like Rachel, Mickey, Morgan, Ashley. Ashley was more like campaigning to not put up, and it was like kind of like clockwork. Where
it
it's like I
was.
see them going in back to back to back, and I'm like, if I go in there, as soon as I come back, they're gonna come back to use the restroom. That's a common tactic. Hey,
Mhm.
can I use your restroom in the HO? Oh, here's your towel that you left downstairs, right? They make up like some BS excuse to go. Everyone does it. Everyone in that house does it. And
Yep.
I'm like, bro, it's so obvious you're trying to talk to the HOH, like,
I
but you're not
know.
that slick. You're not that slick, right? So it's like I had to campaign for myself, but if I
Yeah.
overdid it, then she's gonna think I'm playing too hard. The house is gonna think so. It's like you need that balance, but it's like, but I trusted that you guys were fighting for me, but I also understand that you're trying not to push too hard at the same time. And then
Yeah.
the fact that the other side was kind of saying you're going to get us mad, and then the people, she feared that Keanu, since Keanu was trying to take the fall, like
Right.
that she would be associated. Like there's so many things that the way I say it, so many things had to go wrong for my eviction
Yeah.
to happen, and it just stinks because, like I said, like I think me and you could have killed it, especially if I had stayed. And then like
No.
the person who's winning. Because if I had stayed and you had voted with me, I don't
Yeah.
think Riley would have even put you up or even considered like, you know what I mean? Even though I
Yeah.
know Kelly and Keanu were kind of like against the house
hmm
or kind of like being like outs, I was
Yeah.
like the next person up because like when I say next to Will, I was just a bigger threat. Like you said, I think when you watch the show, you don't see how close I got in competitions. But I was like, the only proof I have is like, I guess when the house guest interview, they know how close I got. And then if you look back on episode 1 or so, you kind of see me kind of looking at Vince, kind of holding like the little weights, and I'm like, hurry up. That's the only one I threw was the HOH, and it's the stupidest thing ever because that's the one I probably shouldn't have thrown. Because I was
mm
trying, but then yeah, like I said, I think I looked too good, but I was already committed to like not winning it. So, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, I
So
realized after the fact with that whole vote with you that Vince went to Riley and Kat and basically said that I was the reason for that, and I had no idea. Like I obviously had no idea during the house, and so that kind of threw me off a little bit. But honestly, like game is game, you know. So
Yeah,
it is what it
yeah.
is. But yeah. So I'm
That's
glad you're doing well, though. I'm glad everything
yeah.
is.
I've been doing pretty well. I mean, for me, I keeping up with the show because I'm still a fan, right? I love this
Absolutely.
show, and I got to keep up. And plus, I know these people, right? So I'm like, I have like more of an insider information than the rest of because like the live feeds get cut off all the time,
They do.
and the thing is like we know what's going on. Like, of course, we're not in every room understanding every conversation, but there's
Mhm.
a lot that the public doesn't see that we see.
Right.
So I was like, so you know more than I do because of the live feeds getting cut off. So, but you don't know what was shown on live feeds. I didn't know what was shown like during mine.
Right.
I mean, I could go back and try to search if it's ever posted, but
Hmm.
uh, so let's talk about tonight's episode.
Okay.
Okay, so spoilers again, if anyone doesn't know,
Hmm.
Rachel won HOH
Yup. Yup. Yup.
and she nominated Morgan, Vince, and Mickey.
Yep.
Now, did you want to start first about the people that you want to win and how that impacts their game, or you want
Well,
me to keep it off?
the melting pot is screwed. I will say that. In terms of like, we had a four-man alliance. It was me, Vince, Morgan, and Mickey.
The melting pot,
I
yeah,
I will say that like Rachel, being the HOH in terms of like our alliance, that was worst case scenario. That's an obvious
yeah,
statement at this point. But I think the noms make sense. I was a little bit thinking, like while watching the episode, obviously I know what happens after live. I'm thinking, okay, well, did Kelly actually like mess herself up to be the third nom rather than Mickey? Like
yeah.
that was like how they portrayed it on the episode. But my question to you is, if there is a fourth nom, who do you think it will be?
Well, here's what I heard. I know Rachel wanted to work with everybody not on the block, right? Like she's trying to pull in Keanu, she's trying to pull in Kelly.
Yep.
And I know I watched on the live from this week that
Mhm.
when Kelly offered herself to be up on the block, but Rachel said she's not even considering that. But what I didn't see because I can't watch the lives 24/7,
Mhm.
that's 24/7, right?
24/7. Yeah.
So yeah, so I can't be watching. I can't be glued to my screen 24/7. But what do you call it? What was I gonna say? Totally forgot. Oh, okay. So, but what the episode showed tonight that Kelly did plant another seed. Tell Mickey that what Rachel said. I did tell her before I left. I'm like, you got to stop instigating, especially if it's not true. So I'm just glad that she didn't make up something BS, but that she told the truth.
It's
But
true.
the fact that she told Mickey, and I don't think from when I was in there that she would trust Mickey, especially what I told her. Um, so I don't know why she would tell that, but I understand that she's not. She also is. If I heard Kelly's nominations, and I heard that Rachel, if Kelly had won HOH, Rachel would be the fourth nominee. So I
Yeah.
understand that she is willing to take out Rachel. So I
Yeah.
understand like why she's trying to plant that seed.
Hmm.
But knowing that house, like no one keeps their mouth shut. I mean, but it's kind of hard to tell because like at least it's because for me, I didn't think you would go tell. Well, I thought it was a possibility that you would tell Vince, or Vince would tell you,
Hmm.
or you tell Lauren, or not Lauren, Morgan about
Yeah.
making.
Yeah.
And I think from what I got is that you told Morgan, but Vince didn't. At least from what I got.
I talked to Morgan about it. If we're talking about what Mickey said, or
Yeah,
what you said, Mickey said,
yeah,
and I did. And then this past week, I had to reveal that information because I was trying to build trust with them, because I was thinking that was like my only alleyway through this past week. But she twisted it in saying that you were the person to basically like instigate everything, and so that's what she told me. Obviously it was the incorrect choice now that I'm finding out about all of this stuff,
yeah.
but yeah, I
So
mean,
wait. Morgan told you that I was instigating things.
no, so I mentioned to Morgan about what you had told me about Mickey, and I was
About-
like, I was very iffy on the whole situation because I'm like, I had this gut feeling because you were like so close to me. However, it's like you were close to me, but then I knew you didn't trust Vince. And then I knew that Morgan didn't really fully trust you
She was
because
scared of me, is what she told me. So I was like, I know she's down.
so it was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I've got like Adrian here and I've got Vincent Morgan that I'm working very close with right now on the other side. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, do I just choose the numbers or do I roll with Adrian? And that's what ended up happening in that scenario.
yeah,
But Morgan continuously told me that, like, Mickey's not against me. She's got my back over and over. And that was kind of like what ended up happening in terms of that. So when this past week when I was talking to Mickey, I did bring it up, and she definitely she twisted what you had said. So
yeah.
that's my understanding
I
of it
saw that
now
live.
after like going back and seeing the live and what people have told me. So yeah, that's kind of what
Yeah,
ended up happening.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that happens. I mean, yeah, it's hard to like because you need someone to trust. I mean, ideally, because it's hard because if you don't trust anybody, you don't give them information, and then you're basically like kind of outed because like people don't know where you who you would put up.
Right.
So I think people like Lauren, she keeps all her cards close except with Vince. And
Yeah.
then Rachel, she keeps her cards pretty close too. But the thing is that they weren't targets in the beginning. Like
Right.
Lauren wasn't a big target. So I think if her goal was to not get any blood on her hands, she
Mhm.
did that.
Yeah.
And then, but the question was that best for her game? I mean, we will see. If because Rachel was going to nominate her, but she won the veto. She was picked, fortunately, and she
Spoilers,
won.
by the way. Spoilers. This is
Yeah,
spoilers.
spoilers. I mean, it says right there in the title, spoilers, BB talk. Um,
Yeah.
so, and then, but Rachel, I think the house, like, I don't know why they're like, you know what, someone's going to take that shot at her. She's not going to win. So they just keep bringing her along, and now it's going to bite some people in the butt. And it's interesting to see that now play. And then Ashley, I'm just seeing, because I'm watching the feeds right now, but it's on like mute, but I see Ashley and it just popped up in my head. She I would. Is she a pot stirrer? I'm watching her. She knows what's going on. I saw the live feeds the other day, and she's mentioning like Mickey. She's mentioning like I think Kelly. Like she's mentioning names, and she's doing a good job at like making people a target
Yeah.
and like kind of planting that seed. But it's like it's crazy because what's the difference between her and Kelly is well, I guess Kelly's known to lie because she started off the bat lying versus um, Ashley.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just interesting to see because, like, I don't know. Okay, so obviously the people that you're close with are on the block now.
They are. They are.
Where do you think the votes are going to go? Are you keeping up with the lives?
I've been trying. Shout out to Twitter because I really wasn't on it before this, and I am getting like flooded with information on Twitter. So shout out to everybody for giving me all the information. I will say this: I think that Vince, if he is up on the block in the in the live vote compared to anybody else that's currently on the block, I think he stays. I think he 100%
Really?
stays. When it comes to Mickey and Morgan, I actually had a conversation with Jimmy about this earlier today. It's 50-50 to me. I don't know if it's like a little bit different to you. And I really think, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Ashley and Will, like, they want Mickey to stay. So it's like those two votes are going to be massive, in my opinion, if it is Morgan and Mickey in the final two. Because if they swing towards keeping Mickey, I could definitely see Morgan going home. But that's like my initial thought on it. What do you think?
I think like what you said, I totally agree because it's like Ashley and Will want Mickey to stay. It's kind of like when Mickey wants Ashley to stay because Mickey has stated in the lives a lot that, she is that Ashley does get on her nerves
Hmm.
sometimes,
Hmm.
but the fact that she wants her in the thing because she is at the moment beneficial to her game.
Sure.
And so but at the same time I know like real Will said on this episode, he's like I like Mickey, but I ain't like no one's minion, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
So it's like I could easily see them, I guess, turning on Mickey if like that's what it just depends, right? Because I think from what the episode portrayed, right? The
Mhm.
episodes are different from lives and what's really happening in the house, right? A little bit.
Right.
So, my question is he going to be like, I'm going to be on Rachel's side and get Mickey out? Because Mickey did get like, based off the lives, a bit of, how do I say this? Like, HOH high, where it's like she still thinks she's HOH and has like power and influence, and she does have influence in the house. I would say you can't
She
deny
does.
that.
She does. Yeah.
So my question is like I can't see if they would want to honor like Rachel's HOH and like says because like say if Mickey wins H stays on the block and she wins,
Hmm.
is she going to like not consider Ashley's and Will's like consideration, or she can just do what Mickey wants. I think when Mickey put Jimmy up, I think she was heavily influenced by I want to say Morgan because she was trying to keep you and Vince safe. So I would say when it came to Morgan, she was definitely loyal to the melting pot, but
She
but
was.
Mickey was kind of playing both sides, and that's
Mhm.
understandable.
Right.
Um, but
Right. Who do you
yeah,
think? Let me ask you this: who do you
okay.
think Rachel wants to see home? I'm assuming Vince, just based off of whatever all I've seen, but I don't know if Vince is going to get the votes in this specific situation. So between Mickey and Morgan, who do you think Rachel wants to see go home?
I think originally it is Vince because Vince is so well insulated. She
Hmm.
knows his hands in many pots, but targets change literally day by day, minute
They
by
do.
minute, hour by hour.
They
Right? So
do.
so with the show Betrayed right now, I can't. I'm watching live feeds, but I can't hear it. I wonder if that would switch to Mickey because Morgan said, I'm not coming after you, right? And
Right.
even though you got to take that with a grain of salt, everyone's going to have to come after everyone at some point, right?
Yeah.
So I could see Rachel's like, okay, out of all the three up there, Morgan is probably the least threatening to her game.
Yeah.
The next one, like, not saying that they're not threatening, they're just the least, the ones on the block. And
I
then I
agree.
would say Mickey might be upset, right? So if Rachel fears that Mickey is gonna really come after her, and I think this is like also the same idea that when Mickey put Jimmy up, she
Hmm.
wanted Jimmy gone, especially since it was against Comp Beast Kelly up there. Like they
Hmm.
decided like they're worried that Jimmy is gonna come back for blood, after them, right? And
Yeah.
you can't say he wasn't. He looked like he was, and I feel like that was is that what you got picked up? Like why you were there? So why do you think Jimmy was voted out over Kelly? Like
I think because the perception in the house was more so of he was just kind of playing all sides, and he was like, for me, for example, there was a conversation that I had with him, about deciding between you and Will, right? And so
yeah.
like I told him exactly what I said, and then I find out 15 minutes later Ashley has a conversation with me about how Jimmy went directly to Will, like immediately after. And so that's kind of where I see it in terms of what ended up happening there. But I will say this: I want to go back to the episode real quick.
Yeah, yeah. I was
For
like,
like
what was it? Yeah.
spoilers, like about what happens in the veto. I'm
Yeah.
excited that Lauren won because I think that there is going to be the decision, obviously, of is she going to use it on Vince or is she not. I don't think she will because I feel like if she does, it's going to be bad for her game. She's going to create more enemies, right? And so I
Mhm.
don't think I feel like most people think Vince is not going home at this point in time. I don't think she's going to use it. And also, I've
Yeah.
been reading a lot of the comments right now, and a lot of people are saying that Mickey is Rachel's target for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Because I think originally it was Vince, but the fact that I think Rachel, it's like I think or no, Mickey being up on there, she is showing more like, hey, I'm gonna come after you.
mhm,
And I think when it comes to that aspect, like that's what I was saying. I was like, I think it was originally Vince, but I could easily see it becoming Mickey because that's going to be like your immediate threat. But I
yeah,
know if Lauren did, she should. I think it's best for her game to not use it. But if she
right.
did, she would use it on her next closest person, which is Vinny or
Agreed.
Vince.
Agreed.
So but it would be interesting because I don't want her to do it because it's possible that Kelly would go up, especially after kind of leaking some information to
Yeah.
Mickey.
Yeah, I agree.
So And that's who I kind of want to win is Kelly. So I was like, that's not good for her game, but
For sure.
um, and so I could easily see her not using it. But again, anything could change in
Hmm.
that moment, for sure. So that's going to be interesting to see
Yeah.
because yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see what's some of these questions are. With that, let's see. Do let me see. I'm trying to read them.
Throw out a question we can try and answer it.
Yeah, let's just try questions that we could. I'm reading. I'm going down the list. Give me a second. Hold on. Let's see.
This is your live I
Okay.
joined, so you get to
Oh,
pick.
okay. Okay, hold on. I'm working.
Y'all ask questions. We'll we'll
Okay,
we'll
yeah.
try and
Okay, here's one. What are your thoughts on Ava? She's playing the game more than everyone thinks she is. What are your
yeah.
thoughts on Ava?
Well, after seeing this episode, she was happy with me going home in terms of like she was able to get out somebody that was a bit more athletic, somebody that was able to, maybe compete more in like a wall comp or something like that, right? And
Yeah,
so I do respect Ava, even though she did blindside me 100%, but it's game, right? Like I love her
yeah.
to death. And I really do believe if she does like work her way down to the final three, final two, she does have a chance depending on who she's up against. I really do believe that in terms of winning the entire thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
America loves her. Everyone like really appreciates her for who she is. And so I think her game is very it's very nobody's suspecting it right now. So I think
I
she's in
think
a
at this
very good
point, some
spot.
people are. I think. I
Who
could
do
be
you think?
wrong.
Who do you think is suspecting? I'm genuinely curious. Who do you think is suspecting it?
What do you call it? Morgan. She sees that she was venting to Vince that like she wasn't talking much game, but the fact that she's like, well, here's the thing. I'll tell you this. Like, I understand that Ava was a good player because in the house, she said that her brother's a super fan
Yeah,
and she's a fan of the show. I was like,
yeah.
how can your brother be a super fan and then you're just a regular fan that just applied to the show and they got on the show? I was like, but the thing is, she always wore sunglasses in the house. Or like everywhere she went, so that's good because you can't see where her eyes what she's looking at.
Right.
And one of the things I picked up on was she's good at talking without moving her lips. I've seen her do it with you on the lives where she talks like, "Hey, how you doing? So let's put up
She
this
did
person
do
without
that.
moving."
Yeah,
Yeah,
she did.
and that's a really good skill to have, especially if you're like from a distance, you can't see her.
Mhm,
And the fact
mhm.
that she acted like she didn't know much about the game. And then one time I meet her at the hot tub, and she's like, and then she's all serious. Adrian, who do you want to put up? I feel like we're in the same boat. I think we could work together, get far. And then she's like, I want Zay gone. And
Mm.
because I can't beat him in competitions, I was like, whoa, like this, she just went from like Ava that like she put like the front that she puts up and then game Ava. I was like, I haven't seen game
Yep.
Ava, but I was like, I knew she was in there. I knew she was in there. So I did warn Kelly that like, because I think she was underestimating Ava, but like she is definitely someone that you can't underestimate.
Right.
And I'm happy that Ava took a good shot. No offense. When she did, I
Damn.
don't think she would. Ideally, she wanted Vince out, but
Mhm.
she was convinced by her close allies,
Right.
Morgan and Will, to not put up Ashley and put up you instead.
Was it Morgan or Mickey? I heard Mickey. Like
Did
from
I say
other
Morgan?
people. Yeah, you said Morgan. So you mean
Sorry, it's
Mickey
a lot of M's. Yeah, I think it was Mickey and
and Will?
Will. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and that were made like, hey, I don't want Ashley up. Like Zach's a big player, so. And then, so then you got up, and then I guess ideally she wanted Vince because he's talking too much game. I feel like you said, I felt like Ava, you and Ava, of course, had I think a good relationship for as
She
good
did.
as you can get with Ava.
Hmm.
So, so I'm like, I don't think she would ideally wanted you out, but like I said, when you're up there, it's just like everyone's like, well, we got to take a shot at you because I think that they at least from what I got, they want to take you out because you were a stronger. They believe that it was easier to beat Vince in the competition than you.
Mm. Yeah. I
So
will say this though, to me, this is my perception in the house. That didn't come about until maybe like 24 hours beforehand. I could be wrong, but that was the perception that I had. And like, I remember I was talking to Mickey and I told her like point blank, please tell me like straight up what you think my odds are. And she said, it's not looking good, is the best way she described it. I think she said it was less than 50-50. And I'm like, uh-oh, the perception definitely has changed at this point in time. So yeah, like I think the biggest thing that I can tell the people watching right now is that perception changes so quickly on a dime in that house because I went to bed right before live started, like the night before, thinking I was totally fine, I was good, and I wake up the next morning and Ashley's freaking out because she's like, Zach, you actually don't have the votes. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
will say that.
So I heard someone comment, that you were always the target.
Mhm.
And I think it depends because I think early on in the game, in that week when nominations were, that I believe that Keanu was safe, but I was like, no way that's gonna last.
Mhm.
At
Mhm.
least from my perception outside the house, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But then as the votes got closer, they're like, you know what? If it's Vince and Keanu, we're gonna get Keanu out because
Okay.
he's a bigger competitor. And I
Mhm.
think if it was you and Vince, well, obviously you're going. And then if it
Yeah.
was you and Keanu, I don't know about this one because it didn't happen, so I didn't really care to look at it. But I think
Right.
it was Keanu or maybe you. I think it was pretty 50-50. It was hard to tell. But
People, I think because with Vince coming off the block, people told me that I had the votes in that scenario because it would have been Vince, Mickey, Lauren, Morgan, and then Will, and that's five. And then Ava wanted to keep me, so like that was like, and then Ashley was six, is what she straight up told me.
yeah,
So, but yeah, no, it's crazy how much the perception changes on a dime in that house. I will
yeah,
say.
it was interesting to see you and Vince go through the exact same thing as I did because I heard that you got a little teary with Mickey and
Oh,
you said
for sure.
you were just tired and I'm like I literally said that you weren't there but I was like with Ava because I think the second week was harder because I was like I knew I was going up or I was
Yeah.
a huge option and I was like dude, I'm just tired of this, so it was very interesting to see how you guys both felt. Like I think we all go through the same process, especially if it's your first time going up.
Yeah.
And it was just
Right.
interesting to see how y'all dealt with it, knowing that. And I was like, oh wow. I'm like, I mean, I felt bad because I was like, I knew exactly what you guys were going through, but
Yeah.
it was interesting to see for at least from my point of view. Like, not bad though. Like, I wasn't wishing bad for anybody, but I was like,
Right.
they understand But I survived 1 week. But
I
I
get
mean,
that. I get
yeah,
it. I get it.
yeah,
Do you want to answer more questions? I guess I
yeah,
keep
yeah, yeah.
seeing
I mean,
what
there's a
you.
lot. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. So we already talked about Ava. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Oh,
You can see the questions too, right?
oh yeah. Let's talk about Zach's thought process during the BB Blockbuster challenge. I spazzed out because I had my first two. Okay, let me talk about that real quick. Okay,
Oh gosh,
so
dog.
what ended up happening was like when I don't know how much I can say, but like I had a glance at like I had my first two moves basically made already, and I was like, okay, bet this is gonna be perfect. And then when I realized that they were the incorrect moves, I freaked out in that moment. I should have taken a step back, should have pulled a Keanu and just like assessed the situation like further
Mhm.
back.
You
But
had the
I
speed.
also realized that blockbusters, all of them ended in like 2 minutes, it felt like. So I knew that I didn't have that much time. And so through that moment, I freaked out. And yeah, I did not
Vince
I
was
did not
close though.
assess the situation. Say that again?
Vince was close. I think he
He
wasn't far
was.
behind. He didn't have the speed.
Yeah.
But you had the speed. But I think you had like two yellow stack. But then you grabbed one yellow and took it off
Dude,
of the
I
yellow
I
stack.
freaked out. I'm so
I
sorry.
can tell. I was like, bro, the nerves got to him. But I get it, man. I understand what it's like to know that if you do not win this blockbuster, you're going home. Like that's a huge amount of pressure that
Yeah.
only very few people know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a lot of pressure. And I think Keanu being up so much, like he realized that he has to take like a breather.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
He's so like I give Keanu his flowers every single time someone mentions him because he is the definition of a comp beast. I would not be surprised if he goes on the challenge or he goes on like another like crazy competition show because
mhm.
that man in terms of like battling back, he is incredible. Like 100%. I think he's so calm, cool, and collected. It almost makes people upset how calm, cool, and collected he
Yeah,
is. and he crushes it every time, man. Like that's why I know that he's America's favorite. In a lot of different polls that I've seen, he is number one, and it's
Yeah.
because he just continuously pulls himself off. So I'm just like, Keanu, more power to you, man. I really respect it.
I want to see how he's going to do against mental comps because I've seen most of the ones he's won was like physical, a little
Sure.
bit physical, some of like a lot of mental. So the one that was a stepping one, that was a
The
mental one. I would
memorization,
say he
yeah,
did pretty good. Yeah.
yeah.
So he did pretty good there. But I wanted to see because like Kelly was honestly, I feared Kelly, believe it or not, more than Keanu. Because I was
Mm,
like, I wasn't too scared of Keanu like as a physical threat nor mental
yeah.
because I felt confident I could beat him. But
Mhm.
not in like sheer strength, like power, like when it was the clock creeping one. Like I was like,
Sure.
okay, this guy's gonna outbeat me for sure if he doesn't false start. Like he has way bigger legs than I am. He's gonna beat me.
It's
I knew
broad
that for sure.
jumping. He used to
Huh?
play football. It's broad jumping, and he used to play football. So it's
Yeah.
like if he just timed it correctly. Like when I was watching it from the sidelines, he had like half a step on everybody. Like if I remember correctly, and
Yeah.
so like if he didn't false start, I really do think he had that in the bag. But
He
yeah, I
did. Like he
was
would have beat Casey. Like if I had Casey and he was the one that was like the third like it was just the three of us and I had the extra power, he would beat Casey. But I knew studying that comp that I knew that you just had that strong legs and I knew I was gonna lose. I felt like I maybe had a chance against Casey, but
yeah
Keanu no way because of how strong he was in his legs. But the
yeah.
second thing about that strategy was one thing I could control is false starts. Like you do not move your finger because that button is sensitive as a flipper.
Oh,
So
as
I
we
was like,
saw, Jimmy and Keanu immediately back to back got
they
out, and I'm like, what is
wanted to
happening
adjust
in
their
this gym?
hands. Like
Yeah,
even if you could still be touching it, but if you just let the slightest pressure off, it's
yeah.
gonna go off because my fingers were burning, and I'm like, but I just had to like deal with the pain. So
There
I'm
was a
like,
lot. There was a lot of downtime too. In between each like pause, I remember
yeah.
thinking if I was sitting there with like my arms back, my shoulders would be burning, dude.
I think my back was a little bit sore from like how like the way I was leaning so much and
Yeah,
like moving my shoulder. So I think my shoulder blades I felt it for sure on that
yeah.
one. Um, but Kelly, I mean, she when she competes on Blockbuster, she is so calm
She is.
and she reads books a lot. She studied like mental like how to memorize things because she grew up in a without much internet at her home, so she relied on like other things like so she had mental like practice.
Oh yeah.
So I was more worried because I felt that the blockbuster I was coming up wasn't gonna be too physical.
Mhm.
um, and I feared that because I predicted that the HOH would be a physical one. So why would you have another physical back to back?
Yeah.
So I was like, gosh dang. So I worried about that because that's my only advantage against Kelly for me. She said that we're equal mental wise. And I think I understood the game and or I knew more about the game than she did because
Yeah.
she's not too familiar with the game. But I knew that you don't have to like know the game to win the game, believe it or
Yeah.
not. I mean, it helps a lot. But I was like, that's my only advantage against her. So I was like, and then it was a real mental one. And I think Will, he guessed 16 and the number was 8. So I don't know if he doubled it or not. I want to ask him, but I probably am not going to ask him anytime soon because I'm pretty sure he's going to make it to jury whenever that
He,
is.
I
So
really do
for sure.
believe. I think
Yeah.
he and Ava are like the safest to get to jury at this point in time. I
I
mean,
think
anything can
Will is
change.
the safest. Ava's like the second for
I
sure.
agree. I
Um,
absolutely agree.
but like you said, like earlier in the live, you said like the only thing is like Will needs some resume because I think Ava has a better chance of winning than Will at the moment because she has a little bit more resume. But the only drawback is she's going to be put up as a pawn again because she put up people.
Mm,
Like Vince is going to use her as a pawn. Morgan, if any of them still stay, that's an easy pawn for her instead of Will, right? I don't know if Vince is that close to Will, so I could see him putting up. If he doesn't want much blood, I can easily see him putting up. What do you call it? Ava and Will
yeah.
compared to Kelly and Keanu. Kelly's probably going to volunteer again, or he's going to
Mhm.
just put Kelly up anyways.
Yeah.
So I could imagine seeing that, but that's if he wants to play it safe. But if he still survives this week, which is a possibility, I could still see him. I mean, if he knows what's best for his game, what I think he would go after Rachel because she's going to gun for him. and like because I heard him on the live. I don't know if you were there, but he said if I win HOH, like at least for 2 weeks, and I don't put it up, do you think like we squashed it? But I'm like, bro, after 2 weeks, there's no one else to put up. Like you gotta take that shot
I
before they
know.
take the shot at you. So
I do.
I mean, it's interesting to see the game, how it's gonna play out. I'm gonna
Well, I
check the
mean,
questions
like,
again.
yeah, we can ask more questions, or you can look for questions while I say this. I think
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
Ava definitely has more on her resume. She won HOH. She took out somebody, and she even said that it was a successful HOH for her. So like, I really do think she has that. I think Will definitely needs to win HOH soon. Um, oh gosh, my light just turned off. Hold on.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Well, who do you think will win America's favorite? Who do you think the house think what liked the best? What? But wasn't okay. So I think what this person asking, who do you think is America's favorite? You said Keanu.
I do. I do think
Yeah,
Keanu is America's favorite. I think Ava's up there as well.
yeah,
Uh,
Ava for sure. I
do you?
mean, we all liked her, so we're
Mhm.
like, it's Ava, like for sure is up there. I don't think people really inside the house predicted Keanu, but
No, we
yeah,
I know I didn't. It was one of those things where he did cause a lot of chaos. And so like we were thinking, the perception was okay, he's on the outs because he caused so much chaos. But I'm thinking now in terms of a fan watching the show, and I'm like, that is the person that I am pulling for because he is like pulling himself out of danger time and time again. And I think he has a very good chance of winning America's favorite. Do you think that he would win America's favorite if he doesn't make it to jury though? Or do you think somebody like an Ava,
I
if she
think it's
does make it
possible because before last year, no, there has never been America's favorite that didn't make it to the jury. But the
mm,
fact that Tucker, the way he played, he used the veto and then played in the Blockbuster. We haven't seen Keanu do that, but he does have a lot of people rallying behind him. Just
yeah,
because I think based off his second week, I'm gonna pick you off one by one, like, and then still he's kind of doing that, and he is doing that because he's saving himself. So I'm like, you guys have to pick off yourselves. So I think based off that, I think it is a absolute possibility that if he doesn't make it to the jury, that he would still win America's favor. I
I think
think,
so.
but the other people would probably be. I think it would be Ava or Rachel,
I
one
agree.
like up there.
I
I
do
can't
agree.
tell on like Rachel, just because of her initial fan base, but I mean, I think I don't know. I would say yeah, Keanu's probably the front runner, if not Ava or Rich. It's really hard, but I would say probably Keanu's getting up there for sure. Every week he survives, I think he's gonna do because I mean, how can you not root for the underdog? Like the whole house wants him out,
I
right? So
know.
then you're like he survives. The only thing is, it's like I know Rachel is trying to work with him, and she literally Rachel tells Keanu to like don't trust Vince, don't tell him everything, and then he's like, oh, okay, I won't goes to Vince, tells him everything. Then he goes to Lauren, and Vince goes to Lauren, and then tells him everything. I was like, I mean,
Well,
I mean, I mean, I guess. I mean, that's why I think some of the house finds it a little frustrating to work with them. Like Rachel even said in this episode, it's like
mm,
he just sometimes like he needs to keep some things like not spill the secret, like what he hears so fast.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but as a competitor, I mean, his social game isn't like you know what? Let's move on. Anyway, so I was like, look. Look. One of my rules is rule number 3. Like every winner must follow or should do is win when you need to. The fact that like if
Absolutely.
Keanu ever found himself on the block, he always found his way out of it through physical comps. And like I said, I don't think he had the best social game
Hmm.
starting off, but how you start is not how you finish. So Keanu, like the best thing for him right now that he's been doing is been trying to work with Rachel, trying to repair that with Rachel. Is his relationship with Rachel the strongest? No, but it's strong enough that it's keeping him safe right now and that it may pay off later. So I'm like, even though his social media may be the best in the house,
Yeah,
he's definitely improving
it is.
as time goes on. So it's
It
like,
is.
so yeah,
Well,
so it's like there's still hope that he could still. So if he ever does find himself on the block, it's gonna be real hard, and
yeah.
he doesn't win. If he could rally the votes, it's gonna be extremely hard. But because I don't know who really has his back 100%. I don't know if anyone has anyone's back 100%.
Well, it's
In the
interesting. It's interesting with Keanu because when he had that crash out with Ava after the memorization challenge,
hmm
I don't know what everybody saw, but he apologized to every single person in that house. I don't know if that was shown or not. Like he
It was
actually
just
came on.
Ava that we saw that he apologized to.
He apologized to everybody, said he's like, that's not who I am as a person. He's like, I apologize for lashing out. And his person, like, he went back to being Keanu from
Hey
day one.
Jesse, sorry, Jesse was in the thing. He said we were out too soon. I agree, man. I agree. I mean, me and Zach. I mean, if Zach just knew how much. I mean, I couldn't tell him everything, but I mean, we could. Things could be way different. But anyways, sorry. Go on. Go on. Yeah. Yeah. Like Keanu is such a great guy. Like, he was a great person. But to be fair, him saying what he said, I understand his point of view because again, everyone's been putting him up on the block.
Yep.
Everyone wants him out, and he knew that if he didn't win that veto,
Yep.
he's gonna
Oh,
find himself on the block, and people are gunning for him. So it's like I understand that he just kind of wanted once he won that he wanted the veto and just kind of breathe. So I understand the pressure that is on Keanu because I don't think Keanu would ever intentionally have malintent. Like
oh no. No, no,
he's
no, no.
not that person. Exactly,
He never
exactly.
did. Like we didn't
So
agree, like in terms of social game, we never really agreed with each other. But it's one of those things where it's like I always had respect for him as a person. And so like when he did apologize to everybody in the house after the whole Ava blow up, his mood, the way that he acted in the house completely changed. And I think honestly, with him getting the punishment and being the butler, helped him tremendously. Like
yes,
that was so what he did for everybody. He was like making random, bakery goods. Like he was like testing out different things. He wasn't doing like the bare minimum for that punishment. He was going like above and beyond. And I
I
was
saw
like,
that.
in terms of a social game, that was brilliant to me
I
because
saw that. I was like, his punishment was probably the best thing to help his social game in
100%.
house. He's like I said, he may had a rocky start at the beginning,
Yeah.
calling everybody, "I'm going to come at you one by one." But like, it's not how you start; it's how you finish, right? So he
Mhm.
could recover from that social game, and the fact that like he did go above and beyond. And I know a lot of people had a bone to pick because he walks in rooms. And like when people are talking and it gets like people feel like he's following around, but it's
Yeah.
also besides him like he's definitely improving his social game as time goes on, right?
Yes.
And the fact that he could come in and he's not just coming in just to bug people, not that he was intentionally trying to bug people, but that's how
Right.
some people perceived him. But
Yeah.
he actually has food, right? And food is the way to some people's hearts, right? And the fact that he's so quick with it, like he went above and beyond, he took the punishment like a champ, like. And then I think he is growing on people, and the fact that he could save himself every single week and his social game is going to just keep getting better. I hope it keeps getting better because
I
it's the
know.
best right now. No, could it be better? Absolutely. But like again, he has a good shot at this, and like I said, that punishment really helped his social game from what I saw, and I totally agree
Absolutely.
with you there.
Especially in the house. Like I was even mentioning to him, I don't know if this was even seen. I'm like, bro, you have changed like in the best way possible. Like literally he was going back to the Keanu of like week one because I remember he would just like talk about random things with me week one about like
Yeah,
video games, like anime, like whatever. And he would connect on such a really good personal level. And he really started to do that this past week because he even told me, he's like, Zach, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I'm the one that's going to be sent home, which I'm kind of like, going back and forth. But now that I see it back and I see what he's doing, I'm like, yeah, I really give you your flowers, Keanu, 100%. So,
yeah. I mean, it just stinks because Keanu is such a great guy, but it stinks that the whole house wants him out, and
yeah.
that like you're kind of forced to, at least in the game sense, you have to kind of not work with them because
Hmm.
then that puts a target on you back. So I know like my week one, Kelly spread a lot of, she instigated a lot, and I was associated with her.
Hmm.
And in my goodbye messages, Kat even mentioned how like my closeness to Kelly was part of my downfall. Um,
Mm.
and because she was instigating, she told me straight up, and the whole house knew it. So it's like it's hard because you really like these people on the personal level, but on a game level, sometimes you have to distance yourself. So I
Yep.
know when I was trying to pitch why people should keep me, I
Yeah.
told people that everyone wanted Keanu out. So I told what people wanted to hear. I'll take Keanu out. I was the only one at that time to like stood a chance against Keanu. Like I was like, that's why it's important that I stay and I win the next HOH so I could be the one to play against them in the veto.
Yeah.
Because I think I outlast them in every competition I play with them except the the in the dark one, but that one's like a luck at like just shot in the dark, right? So then like I outlast them because of the false starts. And then when it came to Lauren's HOH, he got out first round. Me and you, I think we got out on the third round, like when everyone else went out.
Hmm.
Um, and then what do you call it? I don't know what else there was, but like, so I was trying to really convince people why, like, hey, you got to keep me because no one else is gonna take out Keanu. Um,
Yeah.
I hear it says Keanu was so loyal to me. Um, I mean, I said this before, like Keanu, like he's a great guy, but the thing is, he threw Will under the bus, he threw Lauren under the bus, and he is known to lie. Not that his intentions weren't like there, but it was hard to believe someone that was like the whole house perception. Like he knows he lies a
Hmm.
lot, and that the fact he talks a lot, like he gives information out after saying he's not going to say anything. So it's like it's hard to trust someone like that. Like even though I
Right.
understand that I was like
Agreed.
the way I played, like for anybody in that house, it was hard to trust him. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I think the house isn't too fond of him is because of how rocky his social game was in the beginning. But like
Yeah.
I said, I think he's recovering, and he could totally recover if he plays his cards right.
I agree.
So
The biggest thing, like in terms of socially, where we just didn't see eye to eye, is when I think at the beginning of week two, he said, "Hey Zach, we got to sit down and talk." I was like, "Okay," and he's like, "I made this 10-man alliance. You're a part of it," and he listed out, bang, 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 bang. Like, he listed out everybody, and I was like, do I not have a say in what's happening right now? And so that was like the first thing where I wasn't really sure of his social game, and he was really kind of rubbing people the wrong way at that point. But I really think he's recovered. I really do, and I'm really excited for him to just to see like how long he goes in terms of if he makes jury or not, and
yeah,
I really do think he's going to be America's favorite, 100% at this point.
yeah. Okay, so Keanu is my second person that I would want to win. Right now, for me, who do you think he has the best shot of? Because I think personally, I think he may struggle, depending if the jury's bitter or not. I wonder if he could give a good enough speech that could compel not to us, but to the jury, whoever the jury
Sure,
is, right?
sure,
Because it's not about what we think, what we know.
right,
It's about what the house guest perception is, right? Because
yeah,
the house perception is way different from the public's our perspective because we know
absolutely,
the whole game now, right? So
absolutely.
I'm curious if he could give enough a good speech to convey to the jury that he deserves to be the winner, and who does he have to sit next to in order for to him to win,
That's a really good question.
right?
It's look, I can't even answer that now because it's going to, I'm being serious. It's going to
Yeah.
come down to what happens in jury. And so what I mean by that is like there's going to be stuff that happens in jury where people that we aren't expecting are going to win HOH, right? And they're
Hmm.
going to make some type of move that is going to stand out, and they're going to be able to speak on it when they make the final two, right? I don't know if this is just me, but like I feel like a lot of the moves that are talked about when you get to the final two is stuff that happens in jury. Like I don't
Yeah.
know if that's just because it's like if you make a big move beforehand, you can kind of get kicked out, but that's just kind of my thought process, and that's why I can't answer that question right now because like who knows what's going to happen with the HOH.
I think he has a good chance because like I said for Ava, I think she's gonna make it far. Will's gonna make it far, but
Hmm.
I'm wondering is like if it comes down to final two, like when it's the final three, it's the final four, final five. Is someone gonna take out one of them? Because can they win when they need to, right? So when it's the final three, you need to win the final HOH
Yep.
and pick who you think you can beat in jury.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, because
Absolutely.
that's one of the things, like I said, you don't even have to win final HOH. Your social game could speak for you and you
Hmm.
could influence whoever does win it to take you.
Yeah.
And I think Will and Ava could probably do a good, like a good pitch, like, hey, you're not going to win against you. Because that's the pitch you kind of have to give, right? And if you're talking to the final HOH, right, you want to convince them that, hey, you're not going to win a vote against me or you're
Yeah.
going to win a vote against me. So take me. And then you got to like actually give a good speech to beat them.
Absolutely.
So I think because at this point the way I don't know, it's hard to say um, to see if he could win or not. But I think he could. I think he could. We just have to see. I said this before. I don't know if I already. I think you know. Like I think Rachel could be literally the first two-time winner if she could make it to those final two chairs. And it depends who she sits next to. I'm surprised no one's. I know now people want to take a shot at her, but I mean at this point it's too late. I mean it's not that late, but I was like, you're gonna lose. Someone's gonna lose a number. So
She's
this
won.
week.
She's now won HOH. She is also in her speech going to be like, "I made it here, and you guys didn't even want me here week one, right?" And
And
so
she could.
like she's gonna be able to navigate that. And I mean, Rachel's iconic, dude. She's going to come up with the best speech ever to really sway people. And if I'm being quite honest, like if I was in jury and Rachel was in the final two, the fact that she made it to final two, she automatically gets my vote, in my
That's what
opinion,
I'm
because
saying.
it's like she's able to navigate this game when immediately when we didn't know that she had immunity week one with the have-nots, like right before that, everyone was like, "Oh, I guess we're gonna have to get out Rachel at this point,
Yeah,
right?" And
easy,
so
obviously.
if she makes it to final two, I don't think anybody has a say. I think she automatically wins, but that's just
I don't
me.
know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, like you said, like I don't know if it's automatic, but yes, I think she has a good compelling because the way I say it is she could speak. She knows how to talk. She can influence these people, especially if she gets to that final two. And if the person sitting next to him doesn't have as good of a resume, so now she's won. She didn't play chicken. She didn't put up like the safe options, right? She put up
Right.
people that she knew was going to come after her, knew the people that she wants out. She put up like Morgan, Vince, and Mickey. Like they can't vote to keep each other in because two of them are going to be on the block at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
So it's
Absolutely.
like she's taking the shots she needs to. And then the fact that I don't know if she has much influence, like if she could influence a vote, but I know one thing she's doing very well is planting seeds or stirring the pot very well. And the only thing is, I think a lot of people, especially early on the game, they didn't want to take a shot at Rachel because they're scared, and then
Mhm.
two, assume someone else was going to take that shot, and then three, were using her as a shield and someone to take the jury. So I was like, there's like, so I was like, she's basically gonna get pretty far. But at this
Right.
point now, the lines are starting to be drawn,
Hmm.
and it's just like I always say, it depends because it's so hard because especially with this season, no,
Yeah.
there's really not much loyalty. It always depends who wins HOH because if Morgan had won this HOH,
Yeah.
then things would have been different, and Rachel would probably see the block for sure, and
Absolutely.
then it would have been a whole different story, a
She would
whole
have been a
different
fourth
story. So
nom. I mean, the amount of times I saw M&Ms in my last week being there in the Big Brother house was unbelievable. Like the amount of times where they had to like try and like map it out of what's happening. And so like I knew for a fact if she wins HOH, she's gunning for Rachel. Rachel would be the fourth nom. If she had that opportunity, she'd probably I don't know who her other third noms were. I kind of forgot, but Rachel would be the fourth nom. She'd be gunning for her, and honestly, she would have that on her resume as well. So that's what I have to say that. So I will say this: I've got about 2 more minutes before I have to bounce. So
no, it's okay. I get you. I know we're up pretty late. But yeah, I mean, we could just wrap it up. I know. I mean, we talked a lot. I mean, we just talked about the episode, so we did that. I mean, we can answer one more question, or I mean, if you have any final thoughts, you could say it, man. If you have any final,
this one person said, "Who would you like to see as HOH next?" Adrian, I'll let you answer, and then I'll answer.
who Kelly? She's like, I'm like, I want to see her make it far, so I want to
Yeah.
see her at HOH. One to
Mhm.
secure her safety, but also I don't think she's gonna be afraid to take the shots either, like Ava or Rachel. So I'm like, I wouldn't mind Keanu either. Like I'm curious to see who Keanu would do it and
Mhm.
how he would do with the power of HOH because it's kind of like Keanu is a little bit of a wild card to like trust in the game. Like it's hard to
Yeah.
trust Keanu in the game, right?
Right.
So from like the house perspective, so it's going to be interesting to see how he would do with that power. But I would
Mhm.
want Kelly to win.
I would say, in terms of a fan, I'm curious who Will would put up as his three noms. And so, for that reason, I would want to see Will. I'm curious if he would take a shot at all because he's obviously close to Mickey. He's close to Rachel in a sense, in my opinion. And so, like, that's the person I want to see as a fan now to see where he kind of like draws that line.
I
So,
think you,
I don't know.
I think you would
But
put Lauren, Catherine, and Riley.
Lauren,
He's not close to
Catherine,
them.
You think he would take the shot at both Catherine and Riley?
Or he would put up Keanu and Kelly. Either one of them. So if he wants to play it safe first, he could put Keanu, Kelly, and then Lauren because he didn't mention Lauren's name to Mickey before. and Ashley, I think. So it's like I know Lauren would definitely be one of them, but I could easily see him. Oh, Keanu and Kelly because they're comp beasts, and if they take themselves out, I could easily see him trying to break up the showmance. I mean, we'll see
Who
because
would
I don't
who
because,
would be it
because
between Riley and Catherine? Who would be the fourth nom in your opinion?
oh, with Will, that's hard to
Yeah,
say. Because I think maybe Riley because he would just be a bigger threat than Catherine.
yeah.
I would
I
assume.
think I think in terms of that, I would agree with you. Like Riley would probably be his. That's my guess in terms of if he wins HOH, and that's his choice next week. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it was great talking to you, Zach.
I know.
I
It was
mean,
good
I
to
can't
see
wait
you
till
as
next
well.
episode.
I'm
Yes,
glad we were
dude, it's
able to
good to
hash
talk.
stuff out.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a good talk. But I'm always doing lives about the episode, so we'll see. We'll talk more later. All right.
I got you, bro. All right. Take care,
All
live
right.
viewers. Love you guys all so much. All
Yeah,
right. I'll talk
we
to you guys
love
later.
everyone here. Thank you for showing up. All
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. All right. Peace. Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Peace.